The concept of magic battles and wizard duels has been a staple element of the fantasy genre and is especially popular in cartoons and animation. These battles usually feature different sorts of wizards, witches, warlocks, sorcerers and magicians, using all kinds of magical sorcery for good, bad or otherwise in visually spectacular conflicts. I've put together a list of some of the most epic and memorable magic battles and wizard duels seen in animation over the years. I tried to make this list as diverse as possible, and so featured some famous battles as well as more obscure ones, and also classic magic battles alongside unconventional takes on the trope. The world of anime has produced many epic battles and plenty of lists have been compiled showcasing these, and so this list will instead focus on Western animation, with one honorary anime battle thrown in. This list is also in no particular order, but I have saved the best for last. And finally, this video does contain a few spoilers. That being said, let's get started and see what is first on our list of the most memorable magic battles ever seen in cartoons and animation. The 2002 animated Disney feature, Mickey's House of Villains, featured Mickey Mouse and his friends attempting to defend the House of Mouse from being taken over by a horde of Disney villains on Halloween night. Jafar and his henchmen managed to invade the house and rename it House of Villains, as Mickey, the Disney princesses, and other heroes are thrown out into the street, resulting in Mickey dressing up in his sorcerer outfit from the Sorcerer's Apprentice and challenging Jafar to a magical duel using fireballs. The battle is intense, and Jafar is more than a match for a mere Sorcerer's Apprentice. Eventually, Aladdin arrives on the magic carpet and gives his magic lamp to Daisy Duck, who hands it to Mickey, causing most of the villains to escape, while Jafar and the remaining villains are sucked into the lamp. The other characters are saved and the House of Mouse is restored to its original state. This was a fun and exciting battle, even if the outcome was predictable, and it was enjoyable seeing Mickey back in his sorcerer costume for the first time in over 60 years. Ralph Bakshi's Wizards chose to subvert the traditional format of the wizard duel. The 1977 animated science fiction fantasy film features a battle between two wizards of opposing powers. Avatar, who represents the forces of magic, and his evil twin brother, Blackwolf, who represents the forces of technology. Avatar had previously defeated Blackwolf many years prior in an epic magic battle, but 3,000 years later, Blackwolf has returned, vowing revenge. The film culminates in a final battle of magic versus technology between the two, and this battle is all about the build-up. The hype builds steadily throughout the film, and the tension between the two is palpable as the battle begins. The evil Blackwolf pleads with Avatar to surrender and avoid being destroyed, but Avatar responds by offering to show Blackwolf a trick that their mother taught only him. After admitting to his brother that he hasn't practiced magic in a long time, Avatar simply pulls out a gun and shoots Blackwolf, ending the battle before it even started. The world of anime has left us with some truly epic magic battles over the years, and this list wouldn't be complete without mentioning the Crystal Cave battle from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which appeared in the Crossroads of Destiny, the final episode of Season 2. As the season finale, the Crossroads of Destiny was a culmination of everything that had happened in Book 2 up to that point, and the Crystal Caves battle scene was one of the highlights of the season, as Azula and Zuko confront Aang and Katara in the Crystal Caves of the Earth Kingdom. Aside from showcasing the show's mastery of storytelling, world building and character development, what made this such a particularly good magic battle was its use of the 3 laws of magic, which are guidelines developed by fantasy writer Brandon Sanderson for writing compelling magic systems. Avatar used these rules to create a system of magic that was clear and understandable to the viewer, making it satisfying when characters use magic in new ways. The laws also dictate that by building limitations into a magic system, it makes for better storytelling, as it creates natural obstacles for the characters to overcome. The Crystal Cave scene masterfully incorporates these screenwriting rules to bring us a near-perfect 5-minute sequence of action, character development, and storytelling. We saw another subversion of the magic duel in The Flight of Dragons, a 1982 animated fantasy film produced by Rankin-Bass Productions and which was loosely based on the 1979 book of the same name. The film centers on a quest undertaken to stop an evil wizard who plans to rule the world by dark magic, and a major theme throughout the story is the question of whether science and magic can coexist. The film culminates in a final showdown between the evil wizard Ommadon, master of black magic and voiced by James Earl Jones, and Peter Dickinson, a former scientist turned board game designer who has been drawn from the 20th century into the magical realm. By this point in the story, Peter's mind has taken over a dragon's body, but when Ommadon appears on the battlefield, Peter manages to separate himself from the dragon by recalling the scientific principle of impenetrability. He is able to defeat Ommadon by countering the wizard's declarations of magic with explanations of science and logic, and by denying the existence of magic. This eventually destroys Ommadon, but Peter, having denied all magic, is separated from this magical realm forever. The Magix of Magus 2 is the 8th episode of the Emmy Award-winning animated science fiction series Star Trek: The Animated Series, which premiered in 1973. Set in the 23rd century, the crew of the Starship Enterprise are transported by an alien named Lucian to the planet Magus 2, where magic and witchcraft are normal. The Megans, who are the inhabitants of the planet, explain to the humans that they had visited Earth before in different guises in an attempt to help humanity, but were instead burnt at the stake as witches in Salem in 1692. Captain Kirk and his crew are placed on trial by the Megans in response to the Salem witch trials. Lucian is later revealed to be Lucifer and is to be punished by the Megans for bringing humans to their world, but Captain Kirk feels that the punishment of eternal isolation is far too harsh and engages the leader of the Megans in a magical battle to determine Lucian's fate. The overall animation of the series was limited, but the battle scene is especially vivid and psychedelic, with a striking use of color contrasting with the dark atmosphere and brooding soundtrack. The episode has been compared to the original series episode Plato's Stepchildren, leading many Star Trek fans to consider it an improvement on the original, and has even been turned into a novel, written by Alan Dean Foster. Conan the Adventurer had a slightly unorthodox wizard battle for us in their 1992 episode The Terrible Torrinon. Conan and his companions ride into a town shunned by locals as being cursed, tormented by the evil wizard, the Terrible Torrinon. It's all revealed to be an elaborate hoax by the locals, as the Terrible Torrinon turns out to be just a regular person with minimal magic abilities. Unfortunately, the ploy backfires as Wrath-amon, an actual wizard and the main antagonist of the series, has also been deceived. Wrath-amon believes Torrinon is a real wizard and arrives at the village to challenge him to a sorcerer's duel. Not only the life of Torrinon, but the fate of the entire village is at stake, and Conan and his friends have no choice but to help Torrinon defeat Wrath-amon without revealing the fake wizard's true identity. Conan and the others develop a series of complex tricks and illusions of magic to help Torrinon defeat Wrath-amon by capturing the evil wizard's black ring, the source of his magic power, and draining it of all of its energy, forcing Wrath-amon to flee. Of course, this list would not be complete without mentioning the iconic wizard Merlin, and that brings us to the last but certainly not the least of the animated magic battles. Our final feature is the epic clash between Merlin and Madame Mim, brought to us by the 1962 animated feature The Sword in the Stone, Disney's take on the King Arthur legend, and the last animated film from Walt Disney Productions to be released in Walt Disney's lifetime. Merlin features in the film as a mentor to the young Arthur and tutors the boy in his magic education, including shapeshifting. Arthur soon encounters Merlin's nemesis, Madame Mim, an eccentric evil witch who believes herself to be the greatest wizard of all time. Merlin arrives to rescue Arthur before Mim can destroy him, and Mim challenges Merlin to a wizard's duel. A truly spectacular conflict of magic, sorcery and shapeshifting follows, set to a unique and energetic animation style while the two exchange some memorable banter. Despite Mim's relentless cheating, Merlin outsmarts her by transforming into a germ and infecting her, illustrating the importance of knowledge over strength. Madam Mim would go on to make further appearances, including being seen watching the final battle between Mickey and Jafar in House of Villains. That's all we have time for, but I hope you enjoyed these encounters and that this list brought back some good memories. Let us know down in the comments section which of these magic duels you enjoyed the most, and what other animated magic battles and wizard duels you would recommend to others. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this content. There's a lot more like it coming soon, so be sure to hit the bell notification so you don't miss any uploads. Have a great day everyone, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more cartoon history.